Story 1. Am I the a-hole for pepper spraying my mom's boyfriend? I, 17 female, live with my mom and my little brother. 6 months ago, my mom moved in with her new boyfriend. Let's call him David. David is short-tempered, loud, obnoxious, and overall just a freeloader. When my mom first moved him in, she told him he would need to pitch in. These are things that everybody in the house does, even my little brother, who's 8. I myself do the kitchen, the main bathroom, my room, my bathroom, the living room, on top of contributing about $500 a month toward bills. I never much minded this because my mom busts her butt every day at work and does extremely long shifts at the hospital. Even still, she doesn't make that much, so I decided to start taking over our phone bill, and the rest of the money goes to food for the house. I graduated from high school early in June 2022 and decided to take a gap year before college so I can save up and help out more so my mom could get on her feet. This all was going really well until David moved in. David is self-employed, meaning he does Uber for about 3 hours a day max. The rest of the day he spends in front of the TV running up the electric bill. But it's not enough for David to add more to the bills he does not participate in paying. David selfishly eats and drinks everything in the fridge, and anytime he's confronted about it, he says, "It's just food, one of you can run out and get some more." If that wasn't enough, David never cleans up after himself. He'll do things like leave the refrigerator open, spill things on the floor or counters, and just not pick it up, leave plates or food on the couch or by the window. I've even found cups in the bathroom. And it's not just disgusting living habits, it's his disgusting personality to match with it. David is constantly rude to my little brother. He yells at him for doing harmless kid things like laughing too loud at the TV or struggling with homework. He'll even go as far as to say, if it was up to me, I would beat him every day he does that. I'm quick to remind David that it's not up to him so he can get the thought out of his head, but apparently it didn't click for him. One Saturday, me and my brother were sitting at the table doing arts and crafts like we usually do over the weekend because during that time I don't work. That day in particular, we were making slime. He did really well on a math test, and it was something he had been wanting to do for a while. As he was playing with it, some of it accidentally got on his clothes. It honestly wasn't a big deal because it's Elmer's glue and detergent. I went into the bathroom to go get a washcloth to wipe it out. The best I could do before I went into the wash, and that is when I heard a loud clapping noise, and then my little brother let out a blood-curdling scream. I wasn't sure what happened, so I grabbed my pepper spray and ran in to see what had happened. David had slapped my brother across the face after seeing the slime on his shirt. I walked into David yelling at my little brother, and I was completely horrified. I picked up my brother, carrying him to my room. I tried calming him down and seeing if he was okay. While I was doing this, David was following behind me, still yelling, so I took my pepper spray and sprayed David while telling him to get the F out of my house. Once he was out, I removed the spare key from the back door, locked everything, threw all of his crap out of the window, and immediately called my mom. I was honestly shocked by her response to the whole situation because she told me while it was wrong of David to slap my brother, I took it too far and possibly ruined her relationship with David, and she wasn't sure how she would fix it with him. With that sentence alone, I'm pretty sure she just ruined my relationship with her, and I'm not sure what to do from here. My little brother is still really shaken up, and so am I. I'm pretty sure she's planning on moving David back in. I'm really lost on what I should do. Did I make the situation worse? What should I do? Am I the a-hole? I mean, no. That's an easy no to me. I think maybe pepper spray may have been slightly extreme as he was not physically aggressive in that moment, but even still, he had just been physically aggressive, and he was still being aggressive with the way he was going after you and yelling. I think maybe a warning with the pepper spray and stuff, I guess, could have been in order. Boy, I hate even trying to defend this scuzzy guy, but I don't know. I get, like, hindsight, and I wasn't there in the moment. I don't know how intense it was. I'm going to side with this person and say, yeah, spray David with pepper spray and get him out of the house. And your mom, unfortunately, seems to be kind of stuck in one of those not great relationships. And that is a significantly more complicated thing to try and tackle. And I am very sorry that you have had to deal with that. Hopefully your mom sees some sense, and if not, just, I don't know what you do. CPS or something, because that is not okay what he did. And to have him around your brother again, I don't imagine things will ever get better, so be safe. Story 2. Neighbor is suing me for $235,000 for not walking my child home from the bus stop. Here is a picture attempting to show how the bus drops kids off. Mind you, the proportions aren't exact. The furthest the bus backs up is 40 feet from my driveway. The end of the dead end where my son crosses is over 125 feet from where the bus finished backing up. All of this is on camera, and after analyzing the footage, my son doesn't even reach the road until the bus is gone. It takes him longer to walk from the bus stop and through my neighbor's yard than it takes for the bus to back up and drive away. I couldn't find one instance of them being on the road at the same time. The neighbor is claiming $159,925 for 5 years of lost wages. Her affidavit states she cannot get a job because then there would be no one to protect my son, and someone needs to protect him from the bus potentially running him over until he is 13. This is around $20,000 per year. She is claiming another $75,000 for emotional distress for herself and her children, for the trauma being inflicted every day of my son almost getting run over by the bus. The school has never called. The bus driver never said anything to my son or I. I've waited for my son at the bus stop before and she didn't say anything to me. Around 8 kids get dropped off at that stop. No parents are waiting besides her. I doubt this is relevant to the case, but this neighbor has some mental issues with her. His kids are not allowed to walk on grass because it might be sprayed with chemicals. She yelled over the fence last year when we were having a fire in our yard, saying, "The ground is dry, you will burn the whole neighborhood down, put it out." We also have a trampoline, and she came to our door to tell us how dangerous it was, and it's just a matter of time before someone gets hurt. She also will not use a lawnmower because they are dangerous. And this lady shovels her whole butt driveway every winter for hours because snowblowers are dangerous. I offered to plow her driveway once and she told me, "Get that machine away from me. What, are you trying to kill me?" I don't know what to do. Should I get a lawyer, talk to her, sit at the stop for my son? First off, at least go and consult a lawyer, because if this woman is you're actually being served papers, then never defend yourself. Just never. As logical as your case is, and as much as I think any judge should look at this and be like, "Ma'am, this is ridiculous. I'm throwing this case out. This woman doesn't have to walk her kid." You get protection. Get a lawyer, because who knows? The other thing, I'm sorry, what? Like, I was dropped off. I grew up for a couple years in like a trailer court, and the trailer I lived in was far back in the court. Like, where I was dropped off by the bus, I couldn't even see the dang thing. And this was like, we moved out of there when I was in 4th grade, so this was essentially from, I think, 1st grade through 3rd grade. Not 12, not a teenager at all, yet somehow, every day, I'm dropped off by a bus there and able to go. And also, ma'am saying this like, "Oh, your son's almost getting hit by the bus." I think, possibly, maybe, bus drivers are trained to not hit the kids. I feel like that's an important part of their job. And if you think the kids are at risk of getting hit by the bus driver, may want to talk to whoever is in charge of the buses, because that driver is very dangerous. But otherwise, this is absurd. And just, either this lady, I mean, it sounds like this lady does have some problems and is terrified of everything in the world. I feel bad for her, and I hope she can get some help and get over some of that, because that sounds like a miserable way to live. But don't start suing people because of your own issues, ma'am. That's gross. And this is why you can't get a job? I'm pretty sure that if that kid was okay, you'd find another reason. So stop it. Story 3. Upstairs neighbor doesn't care, so I made them care. I used to live in an old renovated farmhouse with one apartment upstairs and mine below. I would have to get up for work at 3 a.m. every day. Hardworking mom upstairs worked 2 jobs for her very obnoxious kids. Every time she worked an overnight shift, they would throw parties and be rowdy like a mother effer. Loud music banging on the walls and what sounded like them bouncing medicine balls on the ground. I went up several times and knocked and told them, look, I'm not going to tell your mom or call the cops. I just want some sleep. So keep having fun, but please keep the noise down so I can wake up for work at 3. Did this several times in a week one time, and they finally told me, go F yourself, old man. I was 23. I knew my landlord, and he knew I knew how to work on houses, so he gave me the only key to the basement where all the electrical, hot water heaters, etc. were stored. After being told to go F myself, I had enough. I went downstairs, flipped off the breaker to the upstairs apartment, locked the door, and went back for a peaceful night's sleep. Woke up at 3 and turned back on the power as I left for work. Every day the parties got loud for the next 2 weeks. I would simply go turn off their power and enjoy a nice night's sleep. After that, no more parties. I think the message came through. Why do upstairs neighbors always suck? Seriously. Why? Upstairs neighbors. Stop it. That's so ridiculous. How can you not just be quieter and respect someone else that you have to live next to? And especially if you're getting your power turned off, you have to know they have the upper hand. They're going to win this little war, so stop waging it. Good grief, folks. Just be nice. Also, this person's 23, but they know what a medicine ball is. Like, I know what a medicine ball is, but I'm not 23, and I feel like I shouldn't even really totally know what one is. Like, that's pretty old-timey. I know they're still around. Don't come at me and stuff, but seriously, the rest of you, the youngins out there, do you actually know what a medicine ball is? Would you jump on referencing a medicine ball? I don't trust this person one bit. Secret old person. I'm calling it. Get out of here, old person. Story 4. Am I the a-hole for refusing to take my daughter to my ex-husband's wedding? My 42 female, ex-husband 45 male, and I were together for 20 years. We had a beautiful daughter together, Jocelyn, 14 female. We got a divorce 5 years ago due to infidelity on his part. I was devastated. He was the love of my life, and he betrayed all of the trust and loyalty we had built up. To make matters worse, he ended up in a relationship with the woman he cheated on me with. They got engaged 1 year later and are set to be married in 2 weeks. Honestly, I am heartbroken over my divorce. It's hurtful to me that we were together for 20 years and he could just fall in love with someone else as if it was nothing. However, Jocelyn was only 9 when we divorced, and he's a great father, so I would never want to come in between their bond. Jocelyn loves his fiancée as she's very sweet to her, but she doesn't know the reason why her dad and I divorced. I want to tell her when she's a bit older, and he doesn't want to tell her at all. Anyways, I compromised with him and Jocelyn could come to the wedding, but that he would have to provide the transportation to and from the wedding, as I want no part of it. I don't want to drop my daughter off at his wedding. I don't want to see all the decorations and the happy guests. It'd just be too much for me. I didn't tell him all of that, obviously, but he agreed. Today, he calls me and asks if he can ask for a huge favor. It turns out that his future in-laws are flying in the morning of the wedding, and he has to go pick them up. Therefore, he can't pick up my daughter the day of and wanted to ask if I could take her. I said absolutely not and asked why he can't pick her up the day before when she gets off school. He said he doesn't want to make the drive twice and that he will likely not have time as he has to prepare for the rehearsal dinner. I asked, why can't the bride pick up her parents? He said she'll be getting her hair done and won't be able to. I laughed and told him there was no way I'd take my daughter and that he'd have to figure it out. Boy, why did I say that? My daughter ran downstairs crying, face beet red 10 minutes after my conversation with her dad, calling me terrible and accusing me of not wanting her to spend time with her dad. I told her that's not the case, and she demanded to know why I couldn't take her. I couldn't give her an answer, and she ran upstairs crying. Now I'm getting messages from his family calling me heartless and cold and a bee for trying to ruin his special day over a relationship that is long over. My family understands my point of view, but I feel terrible that I've upset my daughter. I don't know what to do. Am I the a-hole? Should I just put aside my feelings and take her? Oh, this is a very complicated one because, yes, absolutely. Beforehand, you made the deal with him that she could go as long as he is providing the transportation and stuff. Like, that was understood, and now he's kind of flaking on that, and that's absolutely on him. And yeah, it's very, very emotionally tough for you, and I don't think that you should feel forced to go. However, I will say this, as a child of parents who were separated, like when I was super young though, but even when both parents try to be understanding and both parents are really nice, when they start to argue and bicker over stuff and it gets in the way of, like, it affects the kid, that sucks as a kid. That breeds resentment, and it's confusing, and it makes you feel like you have to play favorites. No child should ever have to go through that. And I'm kind of on the side here, and I'm not 100%. I don't know. This is a really tough one, but I'm on the side that, yeah, you should probably take her and drop her off because it's clearly very important to her. It's a hugely important day for her dad. She wants to be there and be a part of it. And if you don't take her, she's going to remember that forever. And it's going to be hard for her to get over that resentment. Even if you do later tell her, like, hey, it's because infidelity, this and that, I think that's still going to stick with her. And I don't think you necessarily want that. I don't think you're an a-hole if you don't. I really genuinely don't. I think that it's totally valid if this person does not take her daughter there because of the emotions and the agreement beforehand. Absolutely. So not an a-hole, but I would still say, if I was in her shoes, I think I would try and take that daughter because I know what it's like coming from parents who would have these little spats going on, and it feels miserable. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.